Hi guys, so this is Miss Fullington. Today is Wednesday, February 10th. And so Miss Fullington is not going to be there usually on Google Meet. So I am pre-recording this lesson. Make sure you're participating like I would be here because we have Mrs. Owlschool, our substitute teacher, that will be reporting to see who is participating like they're supposed to. Remember, Friday, we're having a Valentine's Day party. So if you do not participate or you're not behaving, that is something that we'll probably take away because it's a privilege to participate in a class party. So make sure that you're on your best behavior, okay? So let's go over our vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Now here's our high frequency words. You ready? Body, color, dark, hard, hour, large, part, started, warm, was. So here's our spelling words. You ready? Car, dark, card, star, park, yard, party, hard, smart, start. All right, so that's the end of our vowels, high frequency words, and spelling words. So we're moving on to our blend and read. And so blend and read is basically we see the word and we say it and make sure we're blending with the AR, which is an R sound. And sometimes we'll have an I sound. So let's make sure that we're listening to those words. Ready? Here's number 1. Bark, cart, restart, carton, marked. Number 2, target, arm, tar, charm, sharpen. Number 3, tight, feet, white, rightly, mighty. All right, number 4, pilot, final, silent, recent, tidy. Number 5, sparkle, lark, pardon, tarp, article. All right, so here are the sentences, the 3 sentences. So it says, so I'm going to say it and then you're going to say it. All right, so it says, I started my painting with a dark color. All right, number 7, you can make art from warm, dark clay. Number 8, the man cut the stone with a sharp tip. Good job, guys. All right, so we are still moving on. So basically what we're doing, guys, is we are doing poems. And so one thing that Mrs. Fullington wanted to go over, because you're going to see these words twice, once on this reader's vocabulary, and then second on our anchor chart, which is our skill. But I want to make sure that I emphasize on these vocabulary words because you're going to need to know these on our next module test, which is next week. So let's make sure that we pay attention. All right, so here's some of the reader's vocabulary that we must know. Rhythm. A rhythm beat in music, a regular beat in music, poem, poetry, and dance. So if we have, like I say, like a rhythm, so if I do this rhythm, clap, 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 now it's your turn to do the rhythm. Awesome. And then rhyme is the repetition of same sounds at the end of words. So it could be a sound or sounds. So it could be multiple things. So for instance, if I were to rhyme cat, hat, bat, tat, those are rhymes, but they have the repetition of the same sound at the end of the words. That's sound. Pattern is a repeated set of words, sounds, and beats in a piece of writing. So if I say rat-a-tat-tat, 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 do you see how Miss Fullington is repeating the pattern? So there is a beat and a sound and a set of words that are repeating themselves. So remember that stanza, we learned this word yesterday. So we weren't able to read the poem, so we're going to read it today. And stanza is a group of lines that forms a part of a poem. So it's basically the paragraph form in a book, but it's a paragraph form in a poem. And so Miss Fullington will show you an example what a stanza is here in a little bit. Okay, guys? So we're going to go right back to our anchor chart. Remember, we're repeating some of these words. And so it is poetry. So we have elements of poetry. So they're basically puzzle pieces to create a poem. And so rhythm, remember, rhythm is words in a poem that have a beat when you read them like music. Rhyme is words end with the same sound or sound. So right here they have rain, train, crane, right? They have the same sound. Describing words, words that tell how things look, sound, feel, smell, and taste. They help you picture what the poet sees in his or her mind. So you are using the 5 senses. So we have look, sound, feel, smell, taste. Those are your 5 senses. So visual pattern is basically what you see, right? A pattern can have a poem can have a pattern to make it look nice or easy to read. So we look at stanzas. Remember, those are the paragraph forms in a poem. Special type or extra spaces can make a visual pattern. So we're going to see a lot of that, and Miss Fullington will definitely point out the visual patterns in our first poem, basically. Figurative language. The words don't mean exactly what they say. Remember similes? She is as busy as a bee. Well, we're not really telling her that she's a bee, right? But she is busy because a bee is always moving and collecting honey. So that's why they say busy as a bee. Idioms are like, it's raining cats and dogs outside. So remember, it's not literally raining cats and dogs. We won't see dogs and cats falling from the sky. We are actually seeing rain, and it's raining a lot. So it's a figurative language. All right, so those 2 we will be focusing on. Hyperbole is more touched up on in 3rd grade, so we're not going to focus on that. Okay, guys? All right, so since we didn't get to read the poem, so what you need to do is get out your book, and we need this book. It's page 176, and since we didn't get to read it, we're going to read it today in our class, and it's called Whatever the Weather. And so I need you to go ahead and pause this video and take a moment to gather your items. Remember, we're going to need tracking devices like pencils, either highlighter or an eraser or your pointer finger, and turn to page 176. Okay, guys? Okay, guys, we are back. And so we should be on page 176. And so we're going to listen to what we're preparing to read. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen.
Prepare to read. Whatever the weather, genre study. Poetry uses images, sounds, and rhythm to express feelings. As you read the poems in Whatever the Weather, look for words that appeal to the senses, words that make you think of powerful images or pictures, words that are fun to say or that sound unique, repetition of sounds, words, or lines. Set a purpose. Ask questions before, during, and after you read to help you get information or understand the text. Look for evidence in the text and pictures to answer your questions. Power words: splatter, rumble, slather, glide, covers, creep, slithering, shimmering.
All right, so we're going to keep moving on. So we're going to build background knowledge. Remember, our brains are like a filing cabinet. So whatever we learn, our brain stores it. So when we come back to that same subject, we're like, oh my gosh, I know what that word means. Well, weather, we know that weather is the sun, whether it rains, whether it snows. And so Miss Fullington has this knowledge already in your brain, and so do you, because you have been talking about it with Miss Lil, right? So we are building more background knowledge with weather and our feelings. So we see this little girl right here, and it's raining and it's gloomy and it's dark. So if that wasn't a poem, what do you think the character might be thinking? So go ahead and pause this video for a second and discuss. What do you think the character might be feeling if the weather was to rain and it was dark and gloomy? All right, guys, we are back, and hopefully you've discussed some things that the character may be feeling. And so some of those things that you may have mentioned is the character might be sad or mad. And that is typically what poems do. They express feelings. The narrator describes things, describes our feelings, describes how things taste and smell, or the way we see things. And so that's what poems are. And so today we're going to talk about weathers and feelings. So let's listen to this.
How does the weather make you feel? Sometimes rainy days can make people sad. If it rains on a day when you have something fun planned outside, you might feel disappointed to see dark clouds in the sky. Sometimes rainy days can make people happy. If you want to stay inside and feel cozy with a book, you might be delighted to see a cloudy sky. Sunny days often make people cheerful. Feeling the sun on your face can make you smile. No matter the weather, look for ways to enjoy it.
All right, so that is weather and feelings. And so we're going to go ahead and read Whatever the Weather. So let's listen.
Whatever the Weather, a collection of poems. Weather by Eve Merriam. Dot a dot dot, dot a dot dot. Spotting the window pane. Spack a spack speck. Flick a flack fleck. Freckling the window pane. A spatter, a scatter. A wet cat, a clatter. A splatter, a rumble outside. Umbrella, 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 umbrella. Bumbershoot barrel of rain. Slosh a galosh, slosh a galosh. Slither and slather and glide. A puddle, a jump, a puddle, a jump, a puddle, a jump, puddle splosh. A juddle, a pump, a luddle, a dump, a pud muddle, jump in and slide.
All right, so there was a lot going on in this. There was a lot of rhyming happening. So when we go back to our anchor chart, there is rhyme and rhythm. We can hear it, right? We can also see because it has pictures. But if you notice, they had that visual pattern. Remember, a poem that can have a pattern to make it look or nice or easy to read. Remember, or extra spaces. So if you can find the extra space word anywhere on this page. So if you take a quick look at this part right here, the slosh a galosh, slosh a galosh. So it's a pattern, but it's a visual pattern. So I want you to go ahead and highlight that. That is a visual pattern. So right here, Miss Fullington is going to put visual pattern. So go ahead and take a moment to go ahead and write this down, okay? All right, guys, hopefully that you've gotten that down. Remember, we are highlighting slosh, shugalosh, and writing down visual pattern. So if you have not paused this video, you may go back and do that. Now, what we're going to be taking a look at a lot more is I want to know if you can find words that you hear, some words in the poem that you hear of the rain. So go ahead and pause the video to see if you can find some words that describe hearing the rain. All right, guys, hopefully you got this down. So if you take a look at the first stanza, which is the first paragraph in a poem, right? This is the first stanza. And it says dot, a dot, 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 a dot, dot, spotting the window pane. Spack, a spack, speck. Flick, a flack, flick, freckling the window pane. I'm wondering, are those the sounds of the raindrops? Yeah, they are. So what we want to do is highlight the sounds that you hear. So Miss Flington's going to highlight, but you can underline this with your pencil. Okay. All right. So good job, guys, for noticing that. We also want to think about that the second stanza describes a wet cat, a clatter. But where is the cat in the picture? I read that a barrel of rain falls. I think that the clatter is the sound of a cat running away to get out of the rain. That's why it's not in the picture. Because we know common sense. Do cats really like rain or to get wet? So that's something you may want to talk about. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next poem. So we should be on page 180 to 181. And so this is such a really good poem. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
Covers by Nikki Giovanni. Glass covers windows to keep the cold away. Clouds cover the sky to make a rainy day. Nighttime covers all the things that creep. Blankets cover me when I'm asleep.
All right, so here are some things that it wants you to circle. So it says, have students circle the words that repeat in each poem. So it says here, words that repeat over and over. So let's see. So it says, glass covers windows to keep the cold away. Clouds cover the sky to make a rainy day. Nighttime covers all the things that creep. Blankets cover me when I'm asleep. So let's take a look at that title. What is that title called? What is the title of this poem? Go ahead and pause the video to discuss. All right, guys. Hopefully you discussed that the title is Covers, right? So I know that something that keeps repeating over and over again is it says glass covers right here. And then the next line it says clouds cover, right? Then it has nighttime covers, right? And it also has blankets cover. So you see how it's repeating over and over what the noun is covering? So I'm highlighting those, which you will be circling those with your pencil or your crayon that you have as a tracking device. So we want to go ahead and circle those words. Miss Fullington can't circle, so she's highlighting those things, right? So go ahead and pause the video to take a moment to do this. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to our last poem. So we should be flipping our book to page 182. Okay. So let's go ahead and listen to Cloud Dragons.
Cloud Dragons by Pat Mora. What do you see in the clouds so high? What do you see in the sky? Oh, I see dragons that curl their tails as they go slithering by. What do you see in the clouds so high? What do you see? Tell me, do. Oh, I see caballitos that race the wind high in the shimmering blue.
All right. So last class noticed that there is a Spanish word in this poem, and it is caballitos. If you don't know what caballitos are, it is the word caballo, which means horse in Spanish, and so that's why they say that I see horses that race the wind high in the shimmering blue. So if you see the picture, it does have a picture of a horse right here. Okay, so something else that I want to point out is it says, as I read this poem, I wonder. So it says, I wonder who is speaking. It says, I will look for clues in the words and pictures. One thing I notice is that the first stanza, which is the first paragraph in a poem, right? So how many stanzas are there? Let's count them. 1 stanza, 2, 3, 4 stanzas in this poem. So it says here on the first stanza, asked a question, what do you see in the clouds? Now in stanza 2, it says, it seems that they answer that question. It says, I see dragons. So it says stanzas 3 and 4 ask and answer questions also. So that makes me think that one person asked the question in stanzas 1 and 3, and then in 2 and 4, the children in the picture are looking at the clouds. So I think they are answering the questions that are being asked in this poem. All right. So I sure hope that you enjoyed these 3 poems. Miss Fullington's going to go ahead and share what our assignment is for today. And so in Seesaw, what you're going to do, so let's go ahead and quietly close our book and put our devices away and put the book beside you. So not put away, but beside you for right now, for the sake of time. So in Seesaw, what you're going to be doing today, it says Wednesday, February 10th, Power Words Match. So Miss Fullington has attached the power words and the meanings to them in ways that you can make connections, use props, or act them out. So here's what you're going to want to be looking at is the meaning. This is supposed to be helping you tell you what they mean. So in Seesaw, you're going to add a response. And so there are 8 total power words in the word bank. So we have covers, creep, glide, rumble, shimmering, slather, slithering, splatter. So it says the triangles your directions. Write the power word from whatever the weather that best fits each item. So number 1 says this is a word that means goes over. So this is a word that means goes over. So goes over. Well, I'm going to look at my view instructions. Remember the picture. So let's read each one. This is splatter. When things splatter, drops fall out of them. Okay. Now let's keep going. A rumble is a long booming noise. Well, that's not what it says. It goes over, right? If you slather something, you put a lot of it over something else. Okay, that could be one, but let's keep going to double check. Glide. Things that glide move smoothly and easily. Now, covers. Okay, covers. Something that covers something else goes over it. Oh, that might be it. I don't think slather is it, but it has goes over it. So let's double check. So if I go over here, This is a word that means goes over. I think that this is covers. So I'm going to go with covers, right? And I'm going to shrink it and put it on the line. But make sure, guys, this is our first step, right? So what my first step was to come over here and read our power words and their meanings. The second step was to come over here and read the sentence. Then the third step is when I find the word, I cross out the word. There are 3 steps. Read power word meanings in the instructions, right? The second thing is to read the sentence. And the third thing is when I find the word, cross it out. Okay? And make sure that you type it too. That goes in with the cross it out. Make sure you type and cross it out. When you're done, because there's only 1 page, guys, you're going to press the green check mark. Now, this is for a grade, so make sure that you do your best on this. Remember, you have to click view instructions if you don't remember all the power words. You can use the meaning to help you. Okay, guys? I hope you have a good day. And remember, if you have any extra work to complete or you didn't finish your social studies, this is your opportunity to finish this, okay? To make sure you finish it. So remember that the activities right here, if you press the activities, yours is going to look a little bit different than Mrs. Fullington's because this is the teacher side, but it should have in progress, to do, and then what you finished already. Okay, guys? I hope you have a great day, and I will see you definitely tomorrow. Bye.